a single stable surface to put your feet down on. And I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it out loud. This is one of the craziest things I've ever done in my entire life. Whoa, oh my goodness. It moves a little bit, doesn't it?
What?
It moves.
Yep, it's the traffic.
Traffic's really moving the cable.
Mm-hmm, moving the whole bridge.
Well, that's a good thing, right?
Right.
All right, let's keep moving. Come here.
Suspension bridges are designed to move in the event of an earthquake.
Oh my God. Russell, that's a shaky moment there, huh?
Yep.
Man, this bridge moves.
The cable we're walking on can sway up to 3 feet.
1 foot in front of the other. Just a big old balance beam, right?
Yep. Only about 200 more feet.
200 more feet. Dear God. You know what's also sort of amazing about this incredible journey, this ridiculously hard path, in the service of that. This tiny little light bulb, the famous string of pearls that give this bridge its night signature, well, this is what it takes to maintain it, unfortunately. Russell! Oh, it's getting steep now.
Oh, yeah. When you start feeling it a little bit more in your legs.
Just gotta stay focused. It's getting much steeper.
This is the steepest section of the entire cable. The incline gets up to 37 degrees as we approach the top of the tower, 475 feet above the water.
Whoa, don't look down. I look down, I look down, I look down.
What do you think?
What do I think? You know what I think? I think this is the most incredible thing I've ever done in my life.
It's nice, ain't it? Beautiful.
I'm looking at San Francisco in a way that I don't think most people ever get a chance to do.
Nope, not even on postcards.
Unbelievable.
All right, let's move on.
All right, Russell, we're almost at the top. And here are these poor electricians, my God. Are you kidding me?
Ready to change the light bulb.
Of course, the one that breaks has got to be the one at the top, right? All right, show us how it's done. Let's see it.
They've got to take the lens off, which is tied off, so they can't drop it in the bay.
So one man pulls out the dead, sends it back to the partner. Partner then accesses the backpack, and I wish for my sake the backpack was some high-tech light-changing specific device, but it's a knapsack a 4-year-old takes to school. And we replace the light with the good light, and voila, that's it.
That's it.
Light is done.
Yes, it is.
Did we just come up here to do that?
Yes.
You guys think people have any idea what goes into keeping these lights on? 250,000 people cross this bridge every day. Every single night they see this thing shining bright. Well done, fellas. I guess this sort of answered the age-old question of how many guys does it take to change a light bulb?
Minimum of 2.
Takes 2. 2 guys, a backpack, and some serious nerve.
Coming up, rushing to repair the Bay Area's main artery in the middle of the night, while traffic speeds towards us at over 55 miles an hour.
You're getting a heads up. There's a wrong-way driver.
There's actually a wrong-way driver not very far away.
But first, when was the worst earthquake in San Francisco history? The answer after the break. The answer to the trivia question, San Francisco's strongest earthquake, was the 7.9 magnitude Great Quake of 1906.
One of the biggest challenges with building the new signature span of the Bay Bridge, beyond its own engineering complexities, is building one bridge while all the while keeping the existing Bay Bridge up and running.
The busiest bridge in California, the Bay Bridge, carries 280,000 cars each day. Keeping all that traffic moving safely for the next 3 years until the new bridge opens is a construction project unto itself, requiring major repairs to the roadway in the middle of the night.
So, Larry, let's talk a little bit about what time it is right now, because it's not normal working hours.
No, it's not. It's not. I should be home sleeping. You should be home sleeping.
Well, I should be somewhere, but it's definitely 20 minutes to midnight on Saturday night. We're going on the bridge.
Yeah.
We're going to work.
Yes.
I mean, this is a bridge that's over 70 years old. It's in various stages of disrepair. It's been damaged from the '89 earthquake.
Yes.
And your job is to essentially keep this thing up until the new one is ready.
Right. This east span will eventually be demolished. Until then, it's my responsibility to keep this bridge safe for the motoring public.
Right now, the east span is not safe. Crews have to repair a major expansion joint connecting two sections of the bridge. To do that, they've closed down 3 lanes of traffic in both the upper and the lower road decks.
Are those our lane closures?
Yes.
Wow, all the way this far back?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
They have to make the repair and get the lanes back open before the morning traffic piles up.
Time to gear up, because once we step outside this car, we're not just on a bridge, we're on a construction site, and that traffic is not stopping for us. Okay. It's now 1 a.m. Traffic is going. People are still going out in the city. And over here, this is where that expansion joint's been damaged.
The joint allows the road deck to expand and contract during weather, traffic, and earthquakes. It's covered by an 11-inch wide steel plate to keep out debris, because if debris builds up, it could limit the joint's ability to move. After 74 years of constant traffic, the old steel plate is coming loose.
So if you look right here, essentially where I'm standing is one bridge segment, and this is a different one. And right here is the gap in between them. This is the expansion joint, and there's a metal plate below this concrete that's no longer protecting this joint. So today, we're gonna open up this gap, cut out this metal piece, and replace it with a new one to protect that joint.
Crews use an acetylene torch to burn off the bolts holding down the old plate, which will free it from the top of the joint.
So once we've pulled the damaged plate of steel out, this piece right here is what we're replacing it with. So in order to make sure we can weld this piece flush to the deck, all these imperfections, all these bits of slag have to get grinded off to create one flat smooth to give us a perfect weld.
Grinding is the only way to guarantee a lasting weld once this 800-pound replacement plate is laid in and attached to the joint.
It's about 2 in the morning now. I should probably be at a club right now hanging out, chilling. But I'm on a bridge with blocked traffic grinding steel. Saturday night.
This time of night is particularly dangerous on the bridge. So the crew works in front of 2 safety trucks, equipped with a giant crash cushion, designed to absorb the force of a car traveling at 55 miles an hour. But that doesn't do anything if the driver's headed in the wrong direction.
So while we're somewhat protected by our own vehicles, you're getting a heads up from your traffic monitor folks telling you there's a wrong-way driver.
There's actually a wrong-way driver, and California Highway Patrol is trying to apprehend him right now.
Oh my God. And that's just happening in the background of where we're working.
Right. That's not very far away.
All right, man.
These dangerous overnight repairs happen about 10 times a month. It's the only way to keep this 74-year-old bridge safe until the new one is ready.
So we're up. The damaged pieces come out. You can see the blown out bolt holes right there. That was the problem. That cover had been loose. Cars were hitting it, and it was allowing dirt and debris to get inside the expansion joint. Now that the piece is out, we're gonna clean out the hole and then put down that new piece. So now that you've cut the steel out, what I'm looking at are 2 separate sections of the bridge, right?
Yes.
So the idea is that your weld won't be a nice tight bond unless you're going clean metal to clean metal.
Exactly.
Otherwise, every single day, every single car would be banging on this piece of steel.
Precisely. It may damage a car, it may cause an accident. I have family and friends that cross the bridge too, and I want them to be safe.
Gotta get it right.
Yeah, because my weld is my signature.
Once the empty expansion joint is smoothed down and all the old bolts are removed, the crews can finally lower the new plate into place.
And so here it is, the replacement piece of steel. And they're gonna be here for another 3 to 4 hours welding this piece in solid to create this new expansion joint cover. And it just goes to show you just how much effort it takes to maintain a bridge that is over 70 years old, and why it's so important to get that new span up and running as quickly as possible. Bring it down, bring it down. Good, okay.
Up next, sealing one of the world's strongest road decks requires one of the largest grinding jobs in the country.
Making a flat road, one grind at a time.
The location of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge presents a unique paradox for builders. Gorgeous surrounding views atop deadly seismic conditions. When designing the road deck of the new east span, engineers had to consider both.
The image of the road collapse from the 1989 earthquake is burned into the memory of all Bay Area residents. So rather than have the stacked double-decker road deck like on the west span, they instead separated them into two side-by-side spans, creating not just a safer bridge, but also an amazing view for the driver as they cross the span.
Unlike the original east span, which enclosed the roadway in steel trusses, the new Bay Bridge will be almost completely open, giving drivers a 180-degree view of the surrounding bay. And right under their wheels will be one of the strongest road decks ever built, sealed together from the inside with 4,500 threaded bolts per seam, and from the outside with almost 11 miles of weld.
Once all 4,500 bolts have been installed and tensioned, the very last and final step to bring these segments together is the weld. And that final weld is happening right inside here. All right, so John, that weld line that I'm looking at is the intersection between two separate pieces, right?
That's correct. This is segment 1, this is segment 2.
Structurally speaking, they are one.
Structurally speaking, they are one.
A tube.
A tube.
A 197-foot-long weld joins two bridge segments together. It's laid down in 9 layers with a robotic welding machine. The top 3 layers, called reinforcement, ensure that the gap is completely filled. But they stick up about 1/4 of an inch above the road deck, creating a hump on a surface that needs to be perfectly smooth.
Because if there's a little hump and they do pour the asphalt down, there may be...
It could be, you know, perhaps some kind of divot that somebody might feel somewhere and complain about.
Because while they're driving over this beautiful new Bay Bridge, looking at the view, they might feel like a little bump.
That's right. They might feel a little bump.
Bust out their cell
Spill a latte.
Yeah, all of a sudden their coffee is spilled, bust out a cell phone, call Caltrans and start complaining.
Exactly. Let me tell you something. I lived in New York. Driving there was like driving on the surface of the moon. Covered in ruts, potholes, divots, so forth. And nobody complains.
Nobody complains.
Nobody complains.
And New Yorkers complain about everything.
That's right.
But they will accept all types of potholes.
That's correct.
Here in the Bay Area?
Cannot have segment 1 speed bump and segment 2.
All right, let's grind it well, flatten it out, so you in California can drive your car with a perfect undisturbed surface so you'd never even think you'd left your couch. Shall we?
Yeah.
Grinding is also critical for the bridge's safety. Once drivers are speeding over this roadway at 50 miles an hour, an uneven surface could cause an accident. To keep that from happening, a team of 3 workers has to grind each 197-foot-long weld by hand.
This is your grinder right here.
This is me?
Okay. You got yours, Jeremy. Ken, you got yours.
Hey,
Your grinder works.
wait a second. Look at my grinder,
Yeah.
and look at Jeremy's.
Jeremy's been grinding longer than you have.
Yeah, it's okay, I have other talents. It is an awfully big grinder, though. All right, I'm ready to rock and roll. Making a flat road, one grind at a time.
Grinding has to be done slowly, removing the top level of reinforcement weld without damaging any of the permanent base material. It'll take these guys 2.5 days to make this entire section perfectly flat.
So, Jeremy, I'm looking at segment 1, segment 2, and this was formerly that humpy weld that was kind of in between the two.
Right.
Look at that now.
Yeah, nice and smooth.
Flush as a baby's butt, were it to be made of metal. That means the next thing that's going to come on here will actually be the road surface itself.
Yep.
And that's what it takes to give you a perfectly flat, smooth surface for the Bay Area's newest and most amazing bridge.
Once all the deck segments are permanently attached and the new Bay Bridge is finished, California will have a safe and stunning new span that can withstand the big quake that geologists are predicting. And a 20-year-long chapter in San Francisco's history will finally come to a close.
So talk to me about what will happen when that bridge is done. What's the significance for this area?
Well, I think it's a lot of things. One, it will remind us of the Loma Prieta earthquake. Even though we just had the 20th anniversary of that earthquake, I think we'll go back to that moment in time again because it is the